Good morning. Welcome to Scorched Earth Tarot. This is going to be a reading for Sun, Moon and Ascendant Pisces. If you do not know what your Moon or Ascendant signs are, you can follow the link in the description box below. It's a link to Astrolabe. If you follow the instructions, it will give you your full natal chart for free, and then you can come back and watch the videos for your Moon or Rising signs, because it will give you a better overview of what's going on with you generally than just your sun sign will. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. If you're not currently a subscriber, I'd love it if you'd consider becoming one. And thank you for all your messages and comments. Like, it really makes my month, actually, reading everything that you've had to say about the readings and how it resonates with you. Fucking hell. That said, goodness, a bit of a heavy month for you, Pisces. That said, YouTube is removing the functionality of the messaging on the website. So if you want to get in touch with me, the best way to do it in future will be through social media, and I'm on Instagram and Facebook as Scorched Earth Tarot, so you can get in touch with me there. I mean, to be fair, most of you are choosing to use that route anyway, so it's not really a thing, but just in case you were wondering, that's the crack. So we've got 3 cards out on the table for you for September. They are all major arcana, which is interesting. Pivotal month for you, Pisces. I'm just going to get some clarifiers and then we'll get stuck into the reading. I'm sorry I've left you till last. Like, for some reason, Pisces energy is quite difficult for me to get a hold on. As a fixed fire sign, I think it's possibly the energy I resonate with the least. I certainly have no Pisces in my chart. Very little water in my chart, actually, to be fair. So it takes a little bit of working up to, I have to say, but now hopefully we'll get somewhere. And certainly the cards have come out very strongly this morning. So Waite is okay. How very interesting. Okay, so the shadow cards on the bottom of the decks are Queen of Swords, it's air energy, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, and the Ace of Cups, which is your energy, it's Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. The 3 main cards that you have for the read are Judgment, number 20, it's a card of Scorpio. The Emperor, card of Aries, number 4 in the major arcana, and the Wheel of Fortune, number 10. So already, before we go any further, September's important. Stuff is going to happen for you in September that you need to be aware of, because it's big stuff. I'll go through the clarifiers as we progress. I've got a feeling I might end up pulling some more cards as well. So, the first card you've got is Judgment. It's a pretty heavy scene there. And to be honest, you probably fairly expect that, because this is the penultimate card of the major arcana. Right? So there's some heavy shit going down. And in the traditional Rider-Waite, it's got an angel tooting his horn. I think it's one of the archangels tooting his horn, and it depicts people rising up out of their coffin. You know, it's the day of judgment. It's the day of reckoning. It's the end of days, and that's a very similar depiction to here. So I told you to see he's a crow, so he can't blow a horn. It's a card of resurrection. It's a card about situations that you thought were dead and buried, coming back for a second chance. And quite often you get judgment tipping up quite a lot in Mercury retrograde, because if there's anything that's not entirely dealt with, not entirely closed out, it comes back for you to do that, right? But we're not in a retrograde at the moment for Mercury. But this is a card of coming back. Someone, something, a situation that you thought was dealt with is coming back for reappraisal. Now, just because it comes back, it doesn't mean that you have to take it back. If this is a person that you've separated from, you don't have to take them back. If somebody gets in touch with you that you would really rather not see, you know, you don't have to take them back. This card just tells you that it's going to happen, that they're going to come back to you. And this could be a situation. This could actually be a work situation. This could be a family situation. It could be, but the defining point is that you thought it was done with, you thought it was over, you thought it was done, but here it is, showing its face again, rising up from the dead. And you've got 2 pages to clarify. Now, pages are generally messengers, right? Because that's their job. That's their envoys. You know, they go out for the king and they take the messages off to other people. And for me, the Page of Cups is a Pisces card. You know, it's got a dreamy quality to it. I feel it fits with Pisces terribly well. But either way, it's water energy, so it generally tends to be emotional in nature. And then we've got another card here, Page of Pentacles, and this is much more solid. This is a much more solid card, whereas the Page of Cups is quite, quite dreamy, quite romantic, all that kind of thing. The Page of Pentacles has got something solid in his hands. He's got the pentacle, and he's gazing at it adoringly. It's a solid offer. You know, maybe you've split up with someone. Like, I can read that as a proposal. Like, coming back with an offer of something solid with emotional attachment to it. You know, that could be a proposal of marriage. That could just be a proposal of a new start. But what bothers me about it is they're both pages. You know, they're literally the lowest echelon of the royal court structure that you have. And so it's naive and it's inexperienced and it's it's all of these things, but it's just lower. And if it's somebody coming back to you, then I would expect them to come back with something a little bit more than this. You know, have a saying like, come to me like a king, not like a page. It's a situation you've dealt with before, right? That's coming back. Because you've dealt with it before, there's a level of experience, should be a level of experience on both sides, right? And there should be an idea of lessons learned and, a moving on, that kind of thing. If it was 2 queens that had come up here, or 2 kings that had come up here, I would feel more enthusiastic about it. But it's 2 pages. It's not very much. It's literally the smallest offering that they think is going to hold you down. you know, is going to pin you down to an agreement. I don't really like that very much, because if the situation is closed out for whatever reason, then they needed to come back with something that at least offset the reason why it stopped in the first place. And for me, pages aren't it. And the next card you've got is the Emperor. Well, I don't generally like the Emperor very much as a card, or as an archetype, to be fair. I think I've probably known a few too many Emperors in my time. But he indicates control. Control of circumstance, control of self, control of all of these things. But I feel in your case it denotes a person. I feel very strongly that it denotes a person. And if this is a person, it could be an Aries. It doesn't have to be. They could have Aries in their chart. But it's just someone with these qualities. You know, strategic thinker, possibly older than you. Certainly seen a lot. And if this is the person that you're dealing with, then I find this even more objectionable, right? Because there's no way an Emperor should be approaching anyone with the energy of a page about anything. Nothing, right? But he can be a bit of a control freak, he can be domineering, he can be overbearing, he can only consider there to be one way of doing things, and that's obviously his way. You know, I don't find a lot of good things to say about the Emperor. I'm trying really hard to think about good things. But I'm getting a shitty energy off this card, and I'm particularly getting a shitty energy because he's coming forwards like this. It doesn't have to be a man, it could be a woman, doesn't have to be a romantic relationship, it could be a friendship, it could be anything like that. But there are control issues here that don't sit very well with me. And this meek and mild return. I mean, the other thing that bothers me is these pages aren't looking at each other, right? They're looking away from each other. It means they're walking in different directions, right? So this feels messy. As a return, it feels messy. And it feels slightly calculated. I don't know. I mean, maybe you would not tolerate him coming in as an Emperor. Maybe you would not tolerate him trying to come in as a king. Maybe a page is the only way that they could come in. You fill in the blanks, you say what it, as it resonates to you. But the two cards that we've got to clarify are the Queen of Pentacles in reverse and the Four of Swords. And Queen of Pentacles is the queen of the home, right? She knows how to make a house luxurious. She knows how to make it comfortable. She knows how to make it a home for everybody involved, right? She's good with her money. She's the card of the earth element. So there's Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. I think she's often given to be a Capricorn, but the signs aren't actually really that important. It's about the energy that she possesses. And this woman knows how to make a home. She's come out in the reverse. And she's come out with the Four of Swords, which is about retreating from people, from circumstances, from interactions, actually, I guess, any form of communication. So because she's reversed, and we've got this come out as well, I feel like you've been on a break, potentially, from this situation, however it applies. Whether you're a couple and you've broken up, or you've had a spat with a sibling, or a cousin, or, a friend, whatever. Like, you, I feel, have stepped back from the situation. You ended it, you called time on it, and you've been in a period of reflection. But you've left quite a big gap in this Emperor's space. But you are Pisces. And you're being thought of as an earth queen, right? So this bothers me as well, because I feel like it's not appreciating like the attributes of your watery nature, you know, your dreamy nature, you know, your elemental nature is the way through. This feels a little bit like it's somebody who's expecting to do, you know, the boring, mundane stuff, the cooking and the cleaning and stuff like that. I'm sorry to make it sound like that, but like I'm not getting a true appreciation of your worth and your value from these cards that have come out here. Not at all. And I feel like I understand why you took a step back from this, because either this person doesn't understand you, or this person understands you perfectly well, but sees you in a way that you are not. And that bothers me. And the final card that we've got is the Wheel of Fortune. It's numbered 10, so it's quite important. And it denotes the fixed signs. So we've got Taurus, Aquarius, Leo and Scorpio on this card. Maybe your Emperor is one of these, maybe not. But the lesson of the wheel is that it's always turning, right? Sometimes it goes down, sometimes it goes up. And I feel like where this situation is concerned, it was down for a little while. But I feel like you're pulling back up again. And then here comes the Emperor. You know, just as you've got yourself sorted, here is the Emperor again, coming in with this shoddy, you know, flimsy offer to you, which seems to be coming off the back of a loss that he's feeling in a practical day-to-day basis of having someone around. You know, I mean, she makes a great companion, but it's not an appreciation of your worth, right? So here you are on your upswing, and here this person comes back. If you stare at this card too long, it starts to make you feel dizzy. It starts to make me feel dizzy anyway. I kind of trip out quite hard looking at this. And the two cards that we have to clarify this are the Ten of Cups and the Five of Cups, right? The Ten of Cups is your card, right? It's Mars in Pisces, Lord of perfected success, right? I used to refer to this as happy family, but actually I really don't like that, because it's got a man and a woman and 2 kids on it, and I consider there to be many different ways to construct a family nowadays that don't involve that, you know, kind of standard makeup. So I started referring to it as blessed existence, blessed life. You know, it's standing there and seeing all your cups in a rainbow. You know, it's happiness, it's contentedness. But then we've got the Five of Cups, and the Five of Cups is literally half of the Ten of Cups. And this is a card of Scorpio, and so obviously it's a little bit stingy, like all Scorpio things are. And it depicts a man who's looking at the 3 cups that have fallen over, and he's mourning the loss of those without noticing that he still has 2 upright behind him. You know, if he just turned around, he would see that those cups were there, and that all was not lost. So it's a card of regret. What I'm not entirely clear on is whose regret it is. And I return your attention to the fact that the Ace of Cups, which is about new love, was at the bottom of the deck. I mean, this is an underlying theme. But we've also got the Queen of Swords. And I feel a little bit like this is either end of your partnership, your relationship, as was, you know, whatever it is. Like, there's you having brought in the Queen of Swords on this relationship and gone, do you know what, I've had enough. no, this is not acceptable. And I think it's probably because your worth was not appreciated, because you were not seen as the prize that you deserve to be, and certainly you weren't given the freedom, I feel, that you deserve. Because this Emperor type was controlling you. And now I feel like this Emperor type, this Emperor situation, whatever it is coming back with an offer of newness, of renewed, whatever, wanting to balance things out again where they were unbalanced before. And I feel like that's their energy, and your energy, like these two shadow cards under the deck, are the Queen of Swords and the Two of Cups. And like you took your sword to this situation and you went, no, I'm done now. I've had enough. So I feel like this is the two ends. Like whoever you're dealing with, whatever the situation is regretting the way that it's turned out. And this is you. Unless this is you regretting the possibility of the loss of the Ten of Cups. But I just don't feel like that's the case. I mean, obviously, take it as it applies to you, and I'll try and cover all the bases. I was fucking Page of Pentacles there again. Try and cover all the bases, but I feel quite strongly that you are comfortable. You are more comfortable in the situation that you are in now without this person than you were ever in it. There's a very light energy to where you appear in the spread compared to a very dark, very kind of controlling and gloomy feel from the cards that represent the other person or the situation that you're dealing with. So, yeah, we've got the Emperor again. Yeah, I'm not... Right, I'm going to take these because they've tried very hard to come out. We've got the Wheel of Fortune again, and we've got Justice. Right, so getting the Emperor out again. I'm throwing things around. At the bottom of the deck, we've got the Seven of Swords. It's feeling defensive. So, like, this approach is not welcome by you. Like, you're not feeling it. You're not. Yeah, all it's doing is making you feel on edge and feeling like you need to protect yourself. And we've got the Emperor again. So this is double confirmation of this character being here. Probably trying to push their way back in again. If you accept this small offer that's come forwards, this is just to get their foot in the door. Once they've got their foot in the door, they're back to the old ways. They're back to the Emperor ways. And we've got the Wheel of Fortune and we've got Justice. Right? Justice is a karmic card, and the Wheel of Fortune is a karmic card. Right? This was a lesson that you needed to learn. This to step away from this situation, to step away from this relationship, to start to have a bit of faith in your own self-worth. To try and quell those little voices in your head that that probably told you that this was all right and this was the right way to conduct a relationship. You finally stumped those down because you started to get a sense of your own worth. And you did it right. Like you got the Queen of Swords energy. You've cut this loose and now it's back. Feels like a test to me. It's a test of you, and that's difficult for Pisces. Oh my God, my stomach's grumbling. It's difficult for Pisces because you're a very loving, very sensitive, very gentle sign, and to see you paired up with an Emperor type anyway is actually quite uncomfortable. That feels very restrictive for you and very domineering for you as a sign. But I feel like you've behaved correctly. And you have rebalanced the scales where they needed to be. And the Wheel of Fortune's here because you are on your way up again. And so the Emperor's just come along to see if he can, just ride on your coattails maybe, or pull you back down to where you were before. Either way, you've done the right thing and you're being overseen, right? You know, I started off this reading being very clear that just because somebody comes back, it doesn't mean that you need to take them. You know, your free will is paramount in anything. It's your decision. I see nothing here that makes me feel like there would be anything gained by you doing so, you know. But we've got double wheel of fortune. You're going up, and justice. You're going up. Balance, fairness. You know what is right. You know, she's got her eyes open, and she's got a sword pointing up. Right, swords pointing up. Good communication, truth, absolute truth. When the swords are down, you know, they're painful, they're nasty, they're all of these things. I think you're going to deal with this just right. You know, you're going to balance it. You're going to deal with it in a very balanced way. You've got your scales here, you've got your sword here. You know, I don't think that you need to be mean about it, and I don't think that you will be. I probably don't have it in you to be mean about it, to be honest. But there's good, clear communication here. And I've just noticed, like, there's a funny kind of symmetry about these cards, right? I get the feeling that whatever you walked away from, in the walking away from it, you actually, like, empowered yourself quite dramatically, and you probably have no concept of how much stronger you are than you were. You know, you are a match now for anything that he's got to bring along. He, she, they, the situation, whatever, you know. You can take it and you can send it on its way. You can send him on his way. You can send her on his way, whatever it is. You know, like, I don't get a feeling of regret from you. Not at all. None. It's all coming from this emperor person situation, whatever. But if you let them back in, if you let it back in, you're going to go back to the same old situation as you were in before. You know, there are so many majors on the table here now. You know, we've got 6 clarifying cards and we've got 6 main cards, and all 6 of the main cards are major arcana. Not only are that, 4 of them are the same cards, right? The message here is very clear for me. But just as you don't have to take this offer just because it's been brought to you, also, you know, you have to do what's right for you. Don't give up your power to a reader, any reader, you know. Don't do it. Do what you think is right, because actually what you've got inside you now is that notion of justice, is that notion of empowerment. You know, I'm drawn to the fact that justice is looking straight at you, right, straight in the eye. But the Emperor's actually looking off to the side. I don't know if you can pick that up terribly well. The camera adjust. That's not going to adjust. He's looking a bit shifty to me. His justice is looking straight on. Right, Pisces, I'm going to leave it there. Best of luck to you. I honestly actually don't think that you need it, as long as you go with your gut and trust that you are strong enough to deal with this situation. I think you'll be absolutely fine. I really do. And things are getting better. Things are absolutely starting to look up for you. So, if this message resonated with you in any way, I would love it if you'd let me know, leave me a like or whatever. Or get in touch. I love to read the messages. And yeah, please subscribe. That'd be awesome. Otherwise, I will see you in October.